One.
Hi. How are you?
Feng Shui Friday.
Feng Shui Friday.
So I think we get mostly replay viewers anyway. So
Yes.
being a little off time today is no big deal.
Yep.
Someone comes on live, they said come on live.
Right.
But
Exactly.
we love our replay viewers.
Thank you for the replay.
And these are kind of long. Like a half hour is a
yeah.
long time to show up live. So you
It
kind of
is,
fit
right?
it in when you can.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Amanda Kingsley here.
Jen Heilman here. Wait.
We are today. We decided last week we talked about overwhelm.
Overwhelm, yes.
Today, I like that we both chose the same colored glass. Cheers. Cheers.
Look at these beautiful glasses.
It's funny.
Her husband makes these.
Today we decided to talk about health. Drink more water.
Drink more water.
Also drink coffee. I think that's good for you too.
I drank mine already.
Yeah, I think last week was like overwhelm, and we made you a handy PDF. If you would like the tips, 5 tips for overwhelm, and you didn't get that, send us a message, and we will get you that PDF. You could have a little PDF collection, because this week we're talking about health, and we can send you the health PDF.
And it's really great.
No, really, if you apply one of these things from every week that we do, like it's magic. It's
total
magic.
game changer.
So Jen, what's your first feng shui tip?
So Amanda, so feng shui tip for health, which is in the PDF. So if you need it to be in front of you, if you're one of those like follow along readers kind of thing, we will send it along. But I'm looking at Amanda's kitchen.
I am too.
We're in Amanda's kitchen. So
I'm like, there's cake on the counter.
That's okay. That's okay. Like we have to live in our kitchens, right? And that's not the issue. So the main thing that we need to be looking at is the kitchen, because it's such a reflection of our self-care, right? And how we're actually caring for ourselves. The level of overwhelm and stress that are in our lives, right, usually is indicated by the condition of our kitchen, and it's reflected into all spaces of our house. But the kitchen is a real fundamental area that you can zoom in on. And you don't have to know anything about feng shui to really hone in on the fact that your kitchen is either in complete disorganization or it's clean and organized. And so if it's clean and organized, generally you're probably feeling pretty good, right? Because you've got a handle on your life, you've got a handle on your stress, you've got a good handle on
thinking about last night and the state of the kitchen.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? I can tell as the week progresses generally and my stress level, goes up, and the more things pile on and the more things I have to do, the kitchen gets less and less and less paid attention to. And so that's the beauty of feng shui, is that you can see the level of your stress within your space, right? And then if you need a stress release, for me personally, I am like all about taking it out on my space and cleaning it up, because I feel such huge relief when the space is cleaned up, so making sure that the dishes are cared for, that they are out of the sink, that they're put away, but mostly that they're clean and they're not dirty dishes everywhere, right? Wiping the counter down is,
I'm looking as she talks.
Right? Yeah, you're doing okay. You're doing all right. Wiping the counters down so they're clean and clear. So mostly it's about, like starting fresh, having the ability to start fresh every time, right? So if you want to make a healthy snack, if you want to make a healthy meal, it's honoring that future self, right? And having the ability to finish the task, right? To complete the task. So if you have the cup of coffee and then you put, the cup in the sink, just washing it and making sure the spoon, and then wiping the counter, just completing the task. Like it's more about
how you do one thing is how you
right,
do everything.
exactly. And so, having that intention around that so that you can welcome in the next thing, right? And if you're piling up these 3/4 of the way done tasks throughout the day, then you're not opening yourself up energetically to allow new things to come in. You're just like getting weighted down by like, oh, I didn't finish that. I'm thinking I didn't get, I didn't finish that.
Is there like a correlation? I'm thinking there is, probably why I'm asking. So my kitchen looks pretty good, but now I'm thinking, because I know what it looks like underneath. I'm thinking about like deep health and
right.
then what the state of the cabinets and the refrigerator and all those things. So that's really interesting too, is like we can look pretty on the outside, but what does it look like deep when you dig in deep?
Right.
Yeah. So mine's not too bad, but certainly could use some cleanup.
I think that's
just awesome like my nutrition,
though, right? Yeah, exactly.
Just like my exercise,
right?
Yeah,
exactly. And that's another thing with the feng shui is the more you dig in, the more clear and the more prolonged the state of or the level of health becomes, right? Because if you tackle the super inner stuff, within our bodies and within our minds and all that kind of stuff, but the reflection is the inner cabinets and that kind of stuff. If those things are organized and kept,
visitor, you keep going.
If come be a part of our live. So if we keep the inner stuff, organized, and then there's not that weight. It's that future, doing things for your future self, right? If the like Tupperware cabinet is like overflowing with, disorganization, then every time you open the damn thing up, you're like, oh my God, that frustration level comes up. I don't know where to find the lid is for this one and that one. And you spend, 10 minutes looking for a stupid container rather than 2 seconds, right? And so it's just that kind of level.
So last time I went in deep with you, feng shui, the new habit that you got me to do was to keep the counter clear.
Right.
Because I used to have, I'm pointing as if you can see, but I used to always have dishes on the counter. Always have dishes on the counter, dishes piled up. And so I've really pretty much maintained that. Like, at least 80% better than I used to.
Which is amazing.
Hugely better.
Yeah.
But when I did that, my husband, because he always follows, but he doesn't know that what's happening.
Right.
He just does it. And I'm like, oh, he totally caught on. But the family has followed, but then he went into all the drawers.
Oh.
And so now when I open the drawer, like the spatulas are organized. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. I can find what I want. But he took it to the next level, which he hasn't done that, and we've been in this house for 15 years. Like, it doesn't really do that.
That's incredible.
When I do something, I'll often notice he goes to the next level.
Okay.
And it's so nice when you open up the drawer and you're like, oh, there's the spoon I was looking for versus.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So honoring that, that's the level of organization. People are like, what's the big deal with organization? Well, it takes time. The biggest commodity we have is time.
Dana's in the other room because she was the one that stopped by. But Tim just asked me at workout, what's the thing you want most? And I was like, time!
Yeah, exactly.
I want time.
Right?
And that's it. I want it to be, I want that. I don't want to waste time digging through stuff.
Right. And the frustration that comes with it.
Stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that it ripples out in so many ways that you'll delay putting the dishes away because the Tupperware drawer is a mess, right?
Yes.
You don't want to have to deal with it, right? That kind of stuff. So it's that ripple effect. And so it can be the same way in a very positive way that developing these habits of preparing yourself, that future self and making things easier and organized and all that kind of stuff. Hi, Dana. All of those things that, developing that level of habit, it ripples out into everything that you do in your life, you know, and just creates
Or I
more
was
ease and
just
freedom.
thinking, like, where do I hoard sometimes? And it, like, feels gross in my body. Like, I'll save, like, a third of a bag of chips that no one's going to eat.
No one's ever going to eat it.
And it feels gross in my cabinet. It feels gross, and it's just like, or I'll hoard, Jen, hello.
Hi,
Thanks
Jen.
for the hello. I totally missed it. Or I'll hoard, like, I'm looking kids' water bottles. Like, I need a cleansing of the kids' water bottles.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes, like, that's where you see, like, and it just feels yucky.
Feels heavy.
Anyway,
Yeah.
kitchen. See what you can change in your kitchen. Just one little thing.
One little thing. Start somewhere, right?
Jen has a house full of, I forget, either 5 or 6 boys.
Oh boy.
Wow. So,
oh boy.
Yeah. It's amazing. She's amazing. And, like, what she does with them is incredible. But yeah, I would assume that kitchen is a zoo.
Especially
with
this
a
time
big
of year,
family,
right? When
and
they're here, you know, in the house constantly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So see what you can do in your kitchen. Just one little thing will make a difference.
And, you know, kids do better with organization. If there's already an organized space, they know where to put the spatula, you know, they know where to, you know, like, it's like playing with blocks in the Tupperware drawer. Like, the small square ones go here, and then the lids go on top, you know, the big square ones go here. Like, it's not, you know, that kind of thing.
You know what I've been thinking funny is in my kitchen, another funny thing is we've been keeping, like, gum and, like, candy, like, treats in the same cabinet as the liquor. So the kids, like, go into the liquor cabinet to grab their gum or their treats.
Well, it's mom and dad's treats.
And I've been thinking lately, this might be creating, like, a story for them.
A gateway gum to liquor.
Yeah, that I might want to change. So yeah, just this conversation is making me think about all the places, the little places in my kitchen that may be creating stories for all of us.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
And if we don't do all 5, then you ask for the PDF, and we'll send you the PDF.
There you go.
But the next one, I mentioned workout today, and it came from workout last week for me. And last week I was like, just explaining to my trainer that I have no motivation to want to exercise. And he was like, well, that's because you don't like discomfort. I was like, oh man,
there you go.
He just nailed me.
Yeah.
And I, like, immediately had a defensive reaction. I was like, but I don't mind discomfort in, like, writing a book about abortion.
Right.
But I just don't like discomfort exercising.
Right.
But then I really thought about it, and I was like, nope, I really don't like discomfort anywhere in my life. And we have to.
We're not programmed.
Yeah, but to get to the next level, we have to step out of our comfort zone.
Right.
So in terms of health, I want to encourage you to 6 boys. Yeah, 6 boys. Holy moly, Jess, you're amazing. So to get to the health goals that you want, I want to encourage you to step out of your comfort zone moderately. In, like, I have a sign in my daughter's room, and because it applies to both of us, we're very similar, that says I can do hard things when they're good for me. And it's like, so me too. But, like, if you're a soda drinker, it's going to be uncomfortable to choose water. If you're a, you know, potato chip snacker, it's going to be uncomfortable to choose carrots.
Right.
If you're not an exerciser, it's going to be uncomfortable to get yourself in a group class and actually work out.
Right.
So there's this level of discomfort that we have to embrace if we want to get where we're going. To stop driving through the drive-through for your dinner is going to be uncomfortable because it's your habit.
Right.
But if we want to get where we want to go, which is to be healthier physically, emotionally, spiritually, like nutrition, exercise, the whole kit and caboodle. And sometimes it's money. Like, for me, supplements are a huge thing. Well, it's a little uncomfortable to buy $70 bottles of supplements, but they get me where I want to go. So it's so worth it. So everything related to this is about health, but related to anything.
Yes.
You gotta just be okay with being uncomfortable. You know, like today, I was thinking about it today in workout. I was like, all right, just do 2 more push-ups. Like, just do 2 more. Just do 3 more.
Right.
Okay, you can do 1 more. But don't be afraid to be uncomfortable. We're so afraid to be uncomfortable in our culture. And we're always seeking ways to like numb the discomfort. Alcohol, sugar, screens, obsessive shopping, like whatever the things are. Clutter. We're looking for ways to numb and make the discomfort go away. And so we have to embrace a moderate amount of discomfort to get to the place we want to go, especially in our health goals.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable to not drink at a party with friends if you're trying not to drink alcohol, because you're like, I'm the one not drinking.
Right. Exactly.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So instead we choose, I'll just drink this time. But whatever the health goal is you're trying to hit, don't be afraid of the discomfort. You can say to yourself, I'm uncomfortable, and that's okay.
Right.
I'm uncomfortable, and that's okay.
And that's the thing, is that it gets easier every time you do it, right? So like, you know, the fact that you can do, I don't know how many push-ups you can do, but like the fact that you're like, you don't have to say it, but like, you know, like the fact that you can do push-ups now is amazing, because I bet when you started, you could barely do 2, right? Like it was so like just building on that, just like that general, like easy to follow, you know, of course, when I start, I can barely do 1, and now I can do 10, you know? And, you know, if I didn't make myself uncomfortable in that first moment, then I wouldn't be where I am now. And it's just this building of strength.
Tim, my life coach trainer.
Tim's
amazing. When he said it last week, I just kept like slowly processing it. But the thing that triggered me last night actually to really think about it was that I hate getting up in the morning. I don't like mornings at all. And what I don't like is that like 1 minute, it might not even be a minute. It's like 30 seconds of actually getting out of bed and going, I don't want to be awake.
Right.
I want to be in bed. But once I'm up, once I'm drinking my coffee, once I'm like settling in, once I'm meditating, whatever the thing is I want to do in the morning, I'm fine.
You're ready
but
to
it's the 30 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds of discomfort I try to avoid by not getting up in the morning.
Right.
And I was like, oh, he's totally right. Like I don't get up early because I don't like that short period of time.
Right. Yeah.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I set my alarm. I'm like, I am getting up tomorrow, no matter how uncomfortable it is. And I'm going to drink a cup of coffee before the kids are awake. And I did.
Nice.
And
I bet it felt amazing.
It felt amazing. And I was able to like sort of tidy up the house a little bit. And like, it was a really good start to the day because I was willing to be uncomfortable for just a tiny bit. So if you pay attention, like there's all kinds of weird places in your life that it shows up. It's, you know, nutrition, exercise, sleep, all these things.
Right. That story that you're talking about shows up everywhere, right? Yeah, exactly. Cool.
All right. Should we do one more?
Sure.
Do another feng shui tip or another,
yeah, I don't know. What do you want to do?
Well, I think the one that I want to nail home for all of these is to think about how you want to feel. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, let's focus
Think
on that.
about how you want to feel. Always, always, always. I'm going to say it over and over and over and over again. And that's why the why word is so important to me because it's how you want to feel.
Right.
So if we work together, I can help you figure out exactly your why word. But until you know your why word, just think, how do I want to feel when it comes to health?
Right.
Do I want to feel strong? Do I want to feel vibrant? Do I want to feel like youthful? Do I want to feel clean? Like, how do I want to feel? And then is this choice I'm making leading me to being strong, leading me to feeling clean, leading me to feeling vibrant?
Yeah.
And you may or may not drive through the drive-through. You may or may not decide to go for a run. If you think about, 2 comments there, you can read them. If you think about what it is that you want, I sent out a blog post yesterday about choosing your feelings, because I've still been struggling with overwhelm, even though I'm using the tools that it's intense. Like 3 kids, summer vacation, lots of stuff going on with business. It's intense. It's a crazy time. So I'm definitely still struggling with overwhelm. But I keep saying, like, I'm choosing the overwhelm. I'm choosing all the things that are on my plate. I chose to have a family, and I love my family. I'm choosing to run a business. I'm choosing to, and it just gives me a little more control. But when we decide how we want to feel, then we're choosing whether or not to eat the cake. We're choosing whether or not to watch TV or go for a walk.
Right.
And it's okay either way.
Yep.
Like last night, I was supposed to hang out with dear friends who I really was looking forward to hanging out with. My kid had a tantrum, and I literally decided to have a tantrum with him. Because I was like, that's it. I'm done. I can't take this anymore. I'm going to bed. And like, I was punishing myself by not just getting my stuff together and going to hang out with friends after he fell asleep. But I was like, that's okay. I'm okay with punishing myself right now by not hanging out with friends, because I just need to have a fit about this. Right. I'm just done. And so it happened. I felt gross. I went to bed, but I chose that. Like, I chose to feel yucky about it instead of just getting over myself and hanging out with friends. But that's okay. I was in control. And if we can get in control of our lives in that way, we lose the stress and the freak out and the lack of control. And it's just like, we are conscious creators of our lives, and that's what's most important. That's the biggest game changer for me, is when we're making intentional, purposeful decisions, even if it's to have a tantrum with your 4-year-old.
Right. Exactly. You needed to just.
I just needed to know. Maybe I needed to know what it felt like to have a tantrum, so I could identify with him. I don't know.
Well, it was some form of release too. You're just like, I can't do this anymore. I need to choose this right now because I can't do this anymore. Yeah.
And Jen, such a good example. So Jen is going through surrogacy right now, which includes injections and like massive physical discomfort, as well as, I'm sure, a huge emotional leap. But she knows the reward of that. Like, she knows how she wants to feel, which is to be giving someone this gift. And so,
that's crazy.
Getting uncomfortable is part of getting to how she wants to feel.
Right.
And so that's a really good example, Jen. And you're amazing.
Amazing.
I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
But
incredible.
Yeah, she's choosing the discomfort with conscious intention.
Right.
Like, no one chooses to inject things into their body that are going to make them feel gross.
Right.
Unless you have a want on the other side. Like, there's a want on the other side that makes it important enough.
Right, exactly.
To go there. And so just start paying attention to what you're choosing in your life in regards to your health. Like, I am choosing to, I always say to my clients, it's like one of the examples I use over and over and over again, especially when we figure out their why word. Like, we know it's your why word because sometimes it will tell you to eat the chocolate cake, and sometimes it will tell you not to eat the chocolate cake. If it always tells you to or not to, then it's probably the wrong word. But it's like knowing what you want and then making those decisions intentionally and purposefully, and creating a space around you and inside you that you just you're a creator of your life. You're not like a victim of it or a byproduct of it.
Right, exactly.
You are here in this human body with intention and purpose. And it doesn't have to be like some great, massive mission, enlightened purpose.
Right.
It's just like, here I am in this human body. How am I going to live purposefully?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, for me, food is a huge trigger point for how I decide to feel better when I'm thinking about showing up for our clients and showing up in my life and feeling that sense of energized and feeling energized and empowered. I have to choose wisely, particularly at my age. It's gotten worse with age. If I eat certain things, I feel really like weighted down and I don't feel energized and empowered. And so it helps me make those choices of, if I choose this, am I going to be able to show up in my life the way I want to show up? And it's like that, every choice, like you're saying, is like that. But for, I think food is an easier way to see that, instead of, self-sabotaging. I think that it's such a behavior that we have that we're not even aware we're doing. It's this sabotaging ourselves. Like, well, I'm feeling scared about showing up, so I'm going to eat something that's not going to make me feel good so that I can't actually show up, So like pay attention to where those kinds of stories are showing up.
And that's that like low vibe, high vibe, because foods have vibration, and like those healthy green leafy vegetables are going to raise your vibration. They're going to make you feel better. And processed junk and sugar is going to lower your vibration and make you feel yucky. So sometimes if you're scared about making like a big business leap or a relationship leap or whatever it is, you choose the lower vibe foods because you're afraid to like step into your power and your strength and your high vibe energy. And that was making me think, like, for people who don't know what they want, because there's people who don't know what they want.
Of course not.
I'm like, how do you want to feel? They're like, I don't know.
Right.
Okay.
Nobody's ever asked me that.
Well,
right.
Let's try another approach. And another approach that's really good with food is like, does this feel heavy or light? And this is good. Like access consciousness is a really crazy cool world. But this is the simplest question from it is, does this feel heavy or light? Does eating this feel heavy or light? And you could do this with any decision making for anything. Yeah. But with food, it's a really good one. Like, you're looking at a menu, like read two things, which feels lighter. The one that feels lighter is always the truth. It's always your truth. It's what you should choose. So does going for a run feel heavy or light? And don't get in your head about it, because your head's going to be like, well, it feels heavy. I hate running. But your body and your spirit and your soul and your energy knows what the end outcome's going to be. So the end outcome, people who like say, I hate starting to exercise, but I feel amazing after. Right. If that's the moment that you're in, you're going to feel amazing after. You'll feel light if you really tap into it.
I love that.
Like, does this feel heavy or light? It's like such a good decision maker. I did it yesterday with a food thing. I forgot what it was. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, and it's the same thing. Sometimes the chocolate cake feels light. Sometimes it feels heavy. Right. But it's tapping into like that power beyond your mind. And whether you believe it's out there or not, just try it. Just play with it a little and see how it feels. I'm so glad you're here too, Jen. This is awesome. And this question will serve you a ton. Well, certainly raising 6 kids, but also through this journey of surrogacy. Does this feel heavy or light? What should I do next? Just being pregnant with 6 kids. Is this a time I should rest or keep going? All of those things. Right. But this is such a heavy or light is such a great place to tap in. And most people know that feeling of heavy. It's like you feel weighted, you feel constricted, you feel and your truth always feels light. It's like, oh, there's the answer. Right? When you think of the answer to anything, it could be a math problem. Right. But when you figure out the answer, you're like, oh, it's light. So that's a really good one for health. Yeah, absolutely. So certainly, and I'm a little bit behind Jen in terms of age, but I'm noticing it already too. Like I can't eat the things I used to be able to eat. I'm noticing it a lot with sugar. Actually.
Yeah, sugar is a big deal.
I eat sugar. I'll choose to eat sugar, and I just immediately feel heavy. Right. And I'm like, why didn't I ask before I ate the sugar? Yeah, exactly. Because I'll immediately feel like just gross. Right. Yeah. And you're like confused. It's like, how could I feel gross so fast? Right. Like my body hasn't even digested it, and I feel gross. Yeah. And I love sugar, so that's been a sugar. But I really think that's That's an age shift for me. Is like sugar. I am less and less tolerant of the sugar the way that I used to.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it makes me feel like foggy and and I just don't want to feel that way.
So gross. So gross.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, Jen, I'm so glad you enjoyed this. Definitely share with friends who you think could also benefit. Anyone who's watching the replay, say hi in the comments. We will check in and say hi with you. There were 2 more on here that we didn't even get to. So if you want the PDF, 5 things to do to improve your health, we will just send us a Facebook message or text message or whatever kind of message you want to send us. We'll make sure you get the PDF. You can start a little book of our
there you go
of our 5 things tips, and just refer to it anytime you need to. But another week gone by.
Yeah.
I don't know what we'll talk about next week, but we've got some stuff on the options list. And have a great weekend, everybody.
Happy summer.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Always takes me a second here.
I know. We'll just keep talking.